Carolina air,
dude, this
is
year was
really
special,
having its
dude.
way with me.
Well, I saw some thing that said like Charlotte specifically or Mecklenburg has like 90% male tree population. So apparently that's the male tree is the one that
So men are the
pollinates.
problem in this
Men are the
scenario.
problem,
Yeah.
but like I guess we have an outlandish amount of male trees that were planted 100 or 100 plus years ago. So now they're still pollinating there, but at a higher percentage to like territory rate than like a normal town would have. So therefore there's just a higher, this may be fake news, I don't know, but there's been a lot of articles about it.
I didn't know there were male and female trees,
Yeah, I
to be
think
entirely honest with you.
They're, once again, fake news.
Yeah.
This is great B-roll, by the way, because I'm just going to completely...
Oh, we're in it now.
I know,
we are in it.
I love it.
Yeah,
It could be completely wrong.
it's rough though. Like you guys.
I
are
don't
gonna
see
hear
gender
it.
with trees, by the way.
Yeah,
but
I don't see.
I've heard that some of them pollinate the others. I
Leave it there.
Yeah. Anyway.
So this is unofficially Windsor time.
Yeah, like
Winston?
Windsor time pre-owned showroom.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys
Super
can see
cool.
cases over there, cases behind us. There's a coffee bar. You guys are literally sitting on the coffee bar right now.
It's a great space.
A really, really cool space. And it's been interesting. My parents were just in before this. This was a different business at one point, and just over the years, you guys have expanded. And made
Yeah, in
this door
fact, we're
bigger and
sitting
bigger.
in a part, it's kind of hard to describe on camera, but this building, Windsor Jewelers is only a part of it at one point. Now we own the whole building.
Yeah.
But we're sitting in what used to be a little segment of small Windsor Jewelers, whereas in our forefront here was a clothing store, and before that was a restaurant. So then eventually we took over the whole thing, and we now own it, which is amazing. But yeah, this was a large portion of what Windsor Jewelers used to be, which is now just one room, which is really cool. It's cool to see it evolve over the years, and
Very cool.
kudos to my father for getting it to this point.
And it's evolved even more. The reason we're here today is for the release of is the official term shop and shop?
I think so, or corner.
Yeah,
I would call it a corner. Yeah.
For IWC.
Yeah.
So we are having a really cool event tonight. We'll put some B-roll up of that. But we are here for that.
Yeah, we have a very special guest from IWC here tonight. We have some awesome new release product and rare watches we would not normally have. So it's exciting stuff.
Wrist check can be a bit abridged today.
Yeah.
Because we're wearing the same watch
In different
in
formats.
two different metals.
Same dial.
It is.
This is
so we
wild.
have
Not planned.
Not really. The IWC Portugueser 7-day in white gold over here, and then rose gold over here. I actually didn't realize that was a white gold variant. You've got it on a very cool NATO.
Yeah.
And for years when I saw it, I just thought, oh, it's a really cool.
Yeah, it's on a Tudor strap. Don't tell IWC.
I wasn't going to
Don't
name
tell
drop
Tudor.
it, but yeah, it is on a
But I thought it was cool. It's a cool setup.
Great strap.
I've loved this watch. That's one thing that's nice about it. I mean, yours is nice too, and a very obvious rose gold. But
Sure.
I like that it is a little bit under the radar, even though it's white gold. It wears like a steel watch.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. So IWC, great new corner, really beautiful build, and it's a brand. Feels like in the last 2 months I've really come back into personally quite a bit. So back in the day when I shot for Crown and Caliber, I shot a version of this watch and really loved it, and it stuck in my mind. And then when this came in recently, it kind of reignited that. And it's just such a phenomenal brand.
It's an amazing brand. There's a lot of analogies you can tie from watch brands to car brands. I'm not going to pick a particular brand, but I feel like IWC has never been the most emotional watch brand to me.
Sure.
But it speaks to a few kind of car brands that make an entirely just incredible product that is just beautiful, elegant, flawlessly designed, super reliable, but kind of just does its thing, stays on the rails, and just goes, and you can very clearly see, even though it's a Swiss company, you can very clearly see the German influence that is part of this heritage, and different than the other watch brands in Switzerland. For sure.
To somewhat put a name to it, I would say it's a BMW M division car.
I can see that.
Or, possibly that Porsche, very like form and function.
Yeah, I've always felt like it's like Audi for some reason. To me, it's always because
I can see that
Audi's
too,
always
yeah.
seemed like a little like less emotional than some of these other brands, but
Yeah.
but I mean, granted, Porsche, VW, Audi
Yeah.
is kind of all the same.
I mean, RS3, RS5.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's kinda, but-
that actually, because BMW was quite a bit flary, especially
Maybe
now.
so, yeah, nowadays.
But Audi is super under the radar.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Everyone would have a different opinion on car brands, I think. So let's
Oh,
let's not open that.
It's a trope that's a little tiring.
Exactly. I can't believe. As soon as I was saying it, I was like, "Oh God, what am I doing?"
we go. Drop a comment below
Here we go. Yeah, please. We can just cut this part out.
No, we'll leave it.
Continuing
So, you were at Watches and Wonders
Yes.
last week.
Yep.
Some really phenomenal pieces that
awesome
you got to
year.
see.
I feel like it's great every year, but this year felt especially interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Well, no, I was going to say, I heard, I think it was someone on Hodinkee Radio say that it was a very commercial forward year with some aspirational stuff. So there were just watches released that people will just buy and want to buy.
Yeah.
And then at the high end, when it comes to, the Pateks and brands like that, Parmigiani, there was a very aspirational element of some incredible stuff. Parmigiani, the mystery chronograph, I like.
One of the talks of the show.
We will get
for
into
sure, yeah.
it. I think
So
we hit
cool.
IWC first, but
Yep.
I mean, such a wild concept.
It was awesome. That was definitely a highlight for me personally, and I think for everyone in general during the show. It was, speaks to that brand perfectly because, there's very little going on the dial from the outset, but you click one button and you realize, oh my God, there's a whole show going on here. But we'll get back to that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Something that does speak to IWC, but just at large, one thematic thing that I noticed at this fair, which is probably pretty obvious, but space was a big theme.
Huge.
Space exploration, moon phases, adventure in space, the idea of going beyond. These were all things that's always kind of been there in the watch world. And obviously in the 60s and 70s, it was enormously huge for the watch world.
Sure.
But it has come back in a very timely manner, with Artemis 2, but I think just in general, space exploration and some sort of pseudo space races going on right now have really fueled this within the luxury world. And we saw space at so many different venues when we were
We're
there.
finally actually going to the moon, which I think
We're
is
going
really
to the moon, baby.
Just kidding.
We landed on the moon.
Back to IWC.
Yes.
Phenomenal release was the gold Mark 20.
Gold Mark 20.
I
Super
mean,
cool.
How cool. We have one here. I'll get some shots of it. I
Yep.
get to see it hands-on today, and it does not disappoint. Having such a phenomenal tool watch in a precious metal is just like the most unnecessary but also necessary thing. And it truly brings, because obviously the Mark 20 in general and the IWC is a luxury item, but to put it in precious metal is just such a fun thing.
It's a very distilled version of luxury today. It's
Yeah.
the idea is there. It's clearly a tool watch, but here luxuryify it by putting it in gold. It's been done
Absolutely.
before, but it's just such a pure tool watch in regards to the Mark 20 that
Absolutely.
it kind of just screams like a perfect item.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this off camera earlier, but Le Petit Prince, the Little Prince, is back in a big way this year.
So good.
All the blue dial pieces, or at least the majority of them, have the Le Petit Prince logo on the back again. They're kind of in that world again, which was a very core element of IWC for so long that it kind of been pushed aside for the last few years, and now it's back.
I feel like I remember seeing it most prevalently in the big pilot iterations, and then some of the chronographs possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the La Petite Prince, again, not to harp on Mark 20 so much, but there was a really cool La Petite Mark 20 this year. Enough IWC talk, I think. Moving on to Tudor, the other sweetheart of the enthusiast community at large.
Yeah.
New Black Bay 58.
New Black Bay 58.
Not talked about anywhere near as much as I think it should have been, but
Tudor was an interesting one this year. Tudor's near and dear to me. It's near and dear to Windsor. It was Tudor's 100th, or it is Tudor's 100th anniversary this year, 1926 to 2026. And I think Tudor had some unbelievable releases this year some of them are flying under the radar, and some of them are kind of running changes of the core collection. They're big changes done in a small way that I think will make big waves down the road. And then you also had the Monarch, which is so spectacular.
cannot wait to see it in person. Looks phenomenal.
It was a watch that I got wrist time with it, and I feel like I didn't quite get to wrap my mind around it enough in the meeting, and then you're on to the next watch kind of. But I think it's one that's going to be A, a big deal, and B, it's just such an outlier for the Tudor collection that I think it really does show something very special that they're thinking about, and they're not just recreating Black Bay, obviously.
Yeah.
So we're excited to see how that, whether that iterates into different versions of Monarch, which I imagine it does.
Yeah.
It was a really cool launch. It is great on the wrist.
I think it's huge for the brand because when you look at brands like AP, for example, Royal Oak is all they make. And I think for the longest time when you looked at Tudor, it was Black Bay. Black Bay is the only thing they make now.
And it works.
Yeah, and
Black
it works.
Bay is a wonderful watch.
Now there's the iterations with the...
Where's the water, Noah? I'm listening.
Did we lose our water?
No, sorry, forgive me.
No, you're fine. Now there's iterations with the chronograph that I think have broken it up a little bit.
Yep.
You saw Pelagos, which is obviously an iterative of the Black Bay, but all the wonderful versions of that. So yeah, I think introducing and continuing to expand that line has been really phenomenal.
They kind of reestablished Royal as well, which is another, has nothing but growth ahead of it.
It's a cool watch.
Yeah,
it's a very
super cool watch. The new, I guess, I don't know if it's officially called olive green dial, but the kind of sunburst or olive green dial is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's another one where they did small changes, but I think it'll have big effects. And just really cool to see what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. We might as well just get to it now. Parmigiani, when you were talking about bringing it into the store as an enthusiast, I thought it was an incredible idea. After seeing Watches and Wonder, well, I don't know, but here's the deal. After Watches and Wonders, I'm incredibly biased. My Instagram is 90% watches, but the uptick in mentions that I am now seeing of the brand. Now, granted, when you aren't looking for something, you don't notice it. And then, now that it's front of mind for me, notice everything. But I think they are on the cusp of becoming that next, not to name drop the name, but like that next FP Journe possibly.
I kind of feel the same way.
It's very interesting. You have a lot of people from 2020 that got into watches that have matured incredibly quickly. Yeah. So I think the market for those very unique pieces is just primed right now.
I agree. I think it's, first of all, it's a new brand to us, as you mentioned. We literally launched it a week and a half before Watches and Wonders, and then all this new exciting newness came out.
Yeah.
It's a young brand. It's their 30th year in business this year. Right. Michel Parmigiani's been working in the industry well before that, but the brand itself is 30 years young. And I agree with you about the FP Journe sort of analogy. It's very different in design from FP Journe. It reminds me of where FP Journe was about 10 years ago, and that is more of an enthusiast brand that not everyone's maybe clamoring for, but they do something very unique. And I think Parmigiani does not look like anything else on the market. I don't think it acts like anything else on the market. And it doesn't necessarily try to be anything else on the market, which is very important in a world in which every brand is kind of duplicative of all the other brands.
Absolutely.
So they, especially in a world in which the brand still speaks to a sports market, a steel market, but it really bridges the gap between sport and dress casual very well, while still retaining its own unique identity, which I think is important. And there's just a lot going on beneath the surface of every watch that is not apparent right on the surface, and that's kind of the key to the quiet luxury of Parmigiani.
Yeah. We'll put some imagery on the screen. The mystery chronograph we're talking about is essentially a mono pusher chronograph, and all of the hands. It looks like a 3-hander watch until you hit it, and then it does this incredible rotation where it goes to 12 and starts timing.
That's exactly right.
And then it goes back.
It has a mechanical memory on top of that. So all the chronograph functions are in one pusher, which is not that revolutionary. But the fact that it's all hidden and there's no subdials, the hands themselves form the timekeeping element of the chronograph is unbelievable. Hard to verbalize, I guess.
Which the images will help.
But the seconds hand, everything keeping track of where it's at is just mechanically unbelievable. And it's also just a beautiful watch. It's a stunning watch, whether it had the chronograph or not.
Was it King Charles?
That's correct.
The current one.
Enthusiast.
Yeah, had one, and that's like the first memory I have of it. But his was more of a.
I think just the classic.
Yeah,
maybe the Toric line. I think
possibly. We'll put an image up.
We'll get it up there.
But really cool.
King Charles, not the other guy that's creepy.
Yes, that guy.
To be clear.
To clarify.
He probably wears, the other guy wears a Hublot.
Yeah, I think it's a Hublot or Hublot nails it.
Hublot, don't sue us. Not that you're watching, but
Be fine. They have other issues. Moving on to Rolex. We're not going to go crazy. We'll touch on a couple pieces.
yep.
I was shocked at what wasn't released, being I thought for sure it was going to be another Land Dweller year. I thought we were going to see an expansion of that range. I know nothing. There could be more.
All speculative, but I feel that Rolex kind of pulled some punches leading into the show.
Sure.
And I don't exactly know why. They had an amazing release year.
Yeah.
But I have the feeling we'll see some more releases later in the year. I mean, don't know that for sure. No one does, but
That would be cool.
except
But
for Rolex.
Oyster Perpetual, 100 years.
Dude,
The
awesome.
two-tone is amazing.
So beautiful.
The 100 on the crown
Yeah.
is really
100
cool.
on the crown, 100 on the dial.
Yeah.
100 years on the dial.
Absolutely.
Really special. And then, solid gold differentiation across different sizes is super cool, especially in a world in which gold's on paper very expensive right now. It's very bold for them to just release a ton of gold watches, but I think it's much needed in ladies' pieces, especially within Rolex. So that was very exciting to see. And another one I think really isn't getting enough attention for as amazing as it is the new Yachtmaster 2, which is
I'm really curious to see in person. It looks cool.
super cool.
Yeah.
And to the point that was described to me during my meeting with them, most people loved the Yachtmaster 2, but the majority of people were not actually using the ring command bezel and doing it, if that's the correct term for it, forgive me, Rolex, but actually functioning the countdown timer and resetting it correctly. So they've created a whole new movement for it, which is super cool.
It's awesome.
Super, super inventive and much more streamlined in terms of how it's used, but I think also the most complicated watch they've ever made. So very cool. I think it's cleaned up on the dial quite a bit too. And even though it's about the same size, it wears a little bit more approachably.
That's what I've heard. And I think just removing the name from the bezel has been like a pretty big improvement.
Yeah, exactly. So super cool.
It's really cool. And then the ombre green Datejust 41.
It's a great
beautiful
piece for
watch.
Datejust. Yeah, just a great home run. Can never have enough green. Can never have enough ombre.
Never.
And of course, there's the enamel dial Daytona, which a lot of people are talking about. I think it's beautiful. It's I think being treated as an off-catalog piece, which is very, very unique, and don't expect there to be too many of them out there. But it kind of showcases a lot of what Rolex does across the board, from enamel to Rolesium for the case, and a different take on the bezel for Daytona as well.
I can't wait. I hope I get to see one. I think it's likely at some point. Like you said, it's off catalog. There will not be very many of them at all. So it'll be cool to get to see one. But I mean, the bezel numerals being in the different orientation, I think is so cool.
Super cool, differentiated.
But
in general, I mean, the show was really interesting this year. Not to just go off on a tangent here, but this, the show has had public days for years and years and years now, but this year especially, I felt like there was just a mass influx of people there for the public days, and kind of merging between the media days, the retailer days, and the public days. There were a lot more end consumers and clients and just enthusiasts there on the floor consistently. Some brought in by brands, others there on their own dime, but it felt like there was just great energy out there, and it was really, really cool to see.
It's cool. I think in watching an interview with the CEO of Watches and Wonders, they're at like maybe 60 or 70 brands right now.
Gotcha.
And they have room for up to 100. So I think the show will continue to grow over time. And I think with that, you're going to see more people coming in to check it out, which I think is just great for the industry at large.
Not to just jump back into another brand, but one I would love to spend some time on is Norqain.
Yeah.
That's one that we've been with since the beginning of Norqain, which I think next year is 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. A young brand, and we've been able to watch that brand grow in momentum every year, especially at the show. You kind of get a sense of the momentum behind a brand because you see the booth, you see how full it is, you see how many appointments they have, you see press coming in and out. And this year, that booth, I mean, they have outgrown their space. They have a great, beautiful space. It's always one of the most unique spaces.
What was the theme? It was like a ski chalet or something last year.
I kind of feel like it always ends up being a little wintry feeling.
Yeah.
But they had it was very enjoy life forward, so very ice cream and sprinkles forward, which are some of their releases. Yeah. But they had an actual gelato shop built in, which is cool. I don't know if I got any good B-roll of it, to be honest. But at the same time, it was kind of like ski chalet mixed with ice cream shop, mixed with, it's just a very cool setup in a really unique space. My point being, that brand has so much momentum behind it, and seeing what they're doing with fun things like the Sprinkles watch, the original released Ice Cream Enjoy Life watch, and then now the X Lite, which is super cool, super innovative. Got to try that on, very light, obviously, but just a lot of innovation out of Norqain, and just a great brand. Like, they're not taking themselves too seriously. They're not trying to be something they're not, which is really cool. And they're doing just fun activations. They're running 5Ks around the lake before Watches and Wonders at 6. They're doing all sorts of stuff that you just don't see these other brands doing. And they're not, once again, they're not trying to be too highbrow. They're just kind of living in an active life. And it's been cool. And it shows in their watches. They're just fun. They're wearable every day, which is important in today's world. And kudos to them, man. I mean, they're just, I think it's going to be amazing to see what they're doing another 10 years from now.
Yeah. Well, and I think to your exact point, you know, the Swiss watch industry is, and for good reason, a very serious thing.
Yep.
And I think they certainly have their serious aspects in a lot of the business, but then they are not afraid to and almost go over the top in trying to have those fun activations.
For sure.
And those fun pieces. And I think it's just a phenomenal thing.
Yeah.
Really
they have
cool.
they have a lot of cool new stuff to come later this year too. So see what that is. But yeah, it was a great show, man. I was happy to be there. There's a lot to catch up on now that we're back, but it was always fun.
Well, that was Watches and Wonders for this year. If you haven't been to the Winston-Salem store, definitely come and check it out. I'll throw in some shots here at the end, but it is an absolutely beautiful space. You guys have updated a lot of different things.
Oh yeah,
in the last couple of years
great
here.
New brand build outs. You know, and it's not just watches. Obviously, we have a fully functioning jewelry store here, from bridal all the way up. So there's something for everyone here, and it's just a great store. I love being up in this location. It's spacious, it's more relaxed. We've got a lot crammed in.
A lot more space here to film, which is always nice.
Absolutely. We should do it more often.
Yeah, we will. Well, as always, thank you guys for watching so much, and we'll see you next time.